Okay, so can you hear me? All right. So, if you could just like tell me like what kind of situation are you in at the moment?
Sure. Yeah, so I've been dealing with divorce for almost since August 2024. It all
Okay.
started with false allegations, and I don't realize it at the time, but it's something that she's been calculating and preparing for about a year or so.
Uh-huh.
For example, one of the things, so I raised the girls. She didn't want me kids, and she didn't want to take care of them, so she went to work. Well, for the last year, she didn't let me to go take the girls to any of the appointments.
Uh-huh.
And she's done this purposely. And then she went into court and said that I wasn't present in girls' life.
Right.
Her attorney asked me, when was the last time you took girls to an appointment? And I didn't remember the date, so I needed to say yes or no or I don't know. And so I told it, asked her that I don't remember.
Uh-huh.
Saying the exact date. The attorney pretty much presented to the judge that I never, and she pretty much said that I never took the girls to appointments. So I wasn't present in their life, which was crazy because I was the one who cared and who raised the girls.
Right.
And my wife knew that, but like I said, we planned this whole thing, which I didn't know that at the time. And so I'm dealing with consequences of that.
Right.
When she took the girls, she pretty much left and filed for DVPO against me.
A what? Sorry.
She filed for DVPO against me.
DVP. Is that domestic violence? Sorry, I'm.
Yes.
Okay, got it.
And like I said, at that time, I didn't know exactly what was going on, but she called the social services and forced kids to lie that they're afraid of me, which the social worker came to my house once and she said, I'm going to close the case.
Right.
She's trying to be careful. She's trying to bankrupt you.
Oh, no.
Yeah, and so I have that on file.
Right.
And there's a lot of lies. She tried to arrest me. She put GPS in my car.
Wow.
She knew where I was, and then she tried to arrest me, saying that I'm stalking her and I'm harassing her.
Right.
I was literally at Best Buy, waiting for my brother-in-law at the restaurant, talking to the pastor that actually did our wedding. And so when my brother-in-law pulled in, we went in the restaurant, ordering the food, and the police comes over, and they were ready to put handcuffs on me.
Oh my gosh.
I showed them my phone. Yeah, I showed them my phone. I said, look, I was talking to the pastor that did our wedding. I talked to the manager at Best Buy. I did not even know that she was around here. So she's trying a lot of crazy things.
Wow.
But what I try to do, obviously, to each story there's two sides, and I know I wasn't perfect husband, although she said that I was perfect father. And so what I tried to do for a year and a half, I was trying to reconcile. I was trying to do anything that I didn't want to do anything that I would regret. And even at 5, 10, 20 years, I wanted to be a good example for my girls. I got 2 girls, 7 and 6 now. They were 4 and 5 when she left.
Yeah.
And so that was my approach. I had tons of evidence that it was all lies. I didn't present it to the judge. I didn't use them in court. And, I even dismissed the whole case, hoping, she'll see that I'm reasonable. And I told her, I sent her an email. I said, I don't have any ill intent. I love you. Let's go to therapy. Let's try to do marriage counseling, which she refused all of that. She blames me for everything, but she refused to do any of that, even when I offered to pay for it. So now I realize that wherever I do, so after I dismissed the whole case, and I had plenty of evidence, how abusive she was to me. I have some pictures where I have blood on my face, on my hands.
Yeah.
How abusive she was to the girls. So she took it as a weakness, and she took me to the court. And so before when I dismissed it, I was paying her $1,000 voluntarily. Nobody told me to pay me any child support. I just paid it voluntarily.
Right.
So she took it as a weakness. She took me back to the court for child support, for equitable distribution. She didn't file for divorce, but she filed for everything else possible.
Okay.
And so, but she realized that she's actually the one who has to pay child support to me. Because she takes the girls for 2 more months, alienated them from me again. She did it in the very beginning when she left. And then she asked to go to mediation. In mediation, she says, hey, I'll give you girls almost half time if I don't pay child support.
Yeah.
And at that time, I haven't seen girls for 2 months, and I didn't care, I said that I'm willing to lose the battle if I can win the war, possibly save the marriage, and do what's right for the girls. And so I agreed to that.
Right.
Well, I go into mediation. She said she wants to resolve the whole case. Well, that was a lie. She wanted to get rid of child support. And for some reason, my attorney pushed me into mediation. She was not prepared at all. And she said that mediator is her friend, so, we'll get favorable outcome. Well, it was all about me. They favored her. And then, and they want to use, recently, they want to use mediator for the equal distribution of split the house and the money.
Yeah.
I said, I don't want to use this mediator. I don't trust her. She wasted 8 hours of mediation for unimportant stuff, and it was her strategy. And then, last hour, she started talking about serious stuff.
Right.
I didn't know how it all works. My attorney assured me that it's her friend. I don't have to worry about anything. But even the finances, I didn't have any picture of what she's making until an hour into mediation.
Right.
So it was all set up, and for some reason, my attorney advised to do that. She actually told me, take it, trust me, you will thank me for it.
Yeah.
She gave her 6 perfect weeks. I didn't realize it goes by nights, so I keep the girls Thursday, 8 a.m., or if they're at school, after school release, to Sunday, 2 p.m.
Yeah.
But the course board goes by nights, and so she has more, and she purposely did that so she wouldn't have to pay child support, if anything changes.
Right. Well,
And so.
Yep.
Go ahead.
I'm not a lawyer, so I can't, obviously can't give you legal advice. It sounds like you still have contact with your kids, so that's really good.
Yes.
And that is something that you definitely want to protect and hold on to. Not saying that you should have to bend to the other party's wishes just to keep that, but I'm saying that that's a good thing, and you should count your blessings, because it doesn't always work out like that, and sometimes the courts don't look at your evidence, and they just favor the other party, and you just end up losing no matter what. And so the good thing is that you still have contact with your kids, so that's a good thing.
So one part I missed right before mediation, I actually hired an attorney, pretty well-known firm, and she got me, in front of the judge, because prior to that, I was on visitation, 1 hour supervised visitation a week. Okay. And that's when and they assigned the counselor to the children, and I said, you know what, I don't want to involve children. Yeah. I'd rather suffer, and I dismissed everything against her. Okay. But then when I hired an attorney, she got me custody from Thursday to Monday.
She got what? Sorry?
Every other week.
Sorry, I didn't hear that. What?
She got me temporary custody of girls on Thursday through Monday, every other week.
Oh, okay.
And so that's when that's when she realized that she might actually lose the children, or maybe might be 50-50. So that's when she asked for mediation. But
Okay.
since that, my attorney stopped responding, so I had to replace attorneys.
Yeah.
And they couldn't come up on mediation terms because, we had a mediation scheduled for the second day.
Yeah.
And the mediator had to change it because of emergency hearing she had.
Uh-huh.
Well, she blamed me for not going for it. And so when I got a different attorney, I filed for alimony, I filed for post-separation support.
Yeah.
Because she's a nurse, she's making a lot more money than I do.
Right.
And I sacrificed my real estate career to care for the kids when, I helped her establish her nursing career.
Yeah, sure. That makes sense.
Right, so when I filed for that, she filed for divorce 5 days after, and she also filed criminal charge now, and that's still pending. She filed criminal charge for not going to second mediation.
Wow.
Blaming me.
How can she do that? A criminal charge for that? That sounds crazy. That's insane. Like a criminal charge for not going to mediation? Like.
Well, because before I switched to attorneys, my attorney, the same girl that set up the first mediation, and I told her I did not want to use this. I didn't mind going to second mediation day, but I did not want to use the same mediator. And I have those emails. So she goes to they have like a calendar hearing with the judge, with both attorneys, and they go there and they say, yeah, we both agree to use the same mediator.
Right.
And so I guess it was ordered by the court, and so now she files a criminal charge, blaming it on me that that I didn't go.
Wow.
In reality, it was the mediator who replaced that.
Right.
And so she's trying to do anything, and she's actually in the criminal.
Sorry, say again.
The judge to put me in the criminal report. She's asking the judge to put me in jail for not going to the second mediation.
Oh my God, that's crazy. Wow.
And this attorney that I had, he was like an ex-police officer, so I thought that he knows the law. He charged me over $20,000 since January. He did not do anything at all, and recently he actually filed. He didn't tell me anything. He stopped responding to my emails.
Yeah.
After we had a hearing and I lost, and I asked him about the strategy, what's our plan.
Yeah.
And so he stopped responding to the emails. He went on vacation.
Wow.
And then I get notification that he filed to the judge that I asked him to drop him, which was not the fact.
Wow.
In reality, I started asking him, holding him accountable. What's the strategy? We haven't done anything.
Yeah. A
lot of money, and so right now I have no attorney.
Oh my God.
He still tries to charge. Like he maxed out my credit card.
Wow.
I guess he had my credit card information that I was paying with, and he started charging that credit card until it maxed out, and he's still trying to charge it almost every single day.
Wow. Oh my God.
So I don't know what to do. I can't really afford another attorney.
You know what?
And I don't know if I should. I had to.
Yeah, like I said, I'm not a lawyer. This is not legal advice, but I really sympathize with your situation. I have my ex-husband, basically made false allegations and tried to use whatever he could to try to get me out of our kids' lives, basically based on a personal vendetta that he had against me. And he had been working on this for several years, which I actually found out just after, when my kids were taken, which was about a year ago in March of 2025. I haven't seen my kids. I haven't been able to talk to them. I've had maybe 3 conversations with them since then. It's been horrible. And
I'm sorry to hear that.
Yeah, it's very painful to deal with every single day. It's like grieving your children as if they are dead, but they're still alive. And
wow. And you still haven't seen them?
no. So
Wow.
what my here's the thing is I've done a ton of research on this stuff over the past year. I've watched YouTube videos. I've gone on, used AI. I've done a ton of research, and then when I use AI, I ask for references, like give me the legal case or the legal reference or the actual law that you're talking about.
Right.
When
Right.
you're talking about this, so I can look it up if I need to. So I have been pro se, representing myself the whole time because, for one
Oh,
thing,
really? Wow.
yeah, for one thing, because back when it first started, it was so devastating to me that it literally, I lost my job, I lost my home, I lost everything. And
Wow.
I was homeless for about 6 months. I lived out of an office for 6 months. I could literally not even get out of bed for about 4 months over summer last year. I all I could do was just lay there. I was so devastated. And
Trust me, that I can sympathize. That's exactly what happened for the first month after she left. I literally could not function. I could not eat. I could not sleep. It was horrible.
no, it's horrible.
Going in the kids' room, seeing all the toys, smelling their clothes, and the girls are not there. I mean, it was so crazy. Literally, I was running to the window every single time I hear a car pass by, hoping that the kids coming back.
Yeah.
So I know exactly what you mean. It was horrible.
It is horrible, and it is so traumatizing. And the other parent, just like I honestly think that the parent who does this to the other parent has no conscience. Like, they don't get it, what it does. They don't. Or maybe they do, but they just don't care or something. I don't know, but it's evil. Anyhow, so when this happened last year, so basically I was receiving a child support payment, but he had been working on this for a couple of years, and so skipping lots of details, but basically he took them in March of last year. He immediately cut the child support payment, which had been helping me to maintain the house where we were. So I had to move out right away, and all that stuff. I lost my job. I was working remotely because I couldn't keep up with the work because I was so depressed and devastated, all of that stuff. So anyway, for about 6 months, I didn't have a job. I was looking for a job. I went on what do you call it? Unemployment benefits for a while. I had to sell my car as well to have some money to live on for a while. So for basically about 9 months last year, I was like, I didn't exist, and I just did what I did to try to scrape by. But in the 4 hearings that we've had in the last year, I've learned how corrupt the family court system is, at least in California.
Yes.
Yeah, at least in California, and I've seen stories about
so you're in California?
Yeah.
That is crazy, because I hear a lot of stories of women doing that to men, and they're pretty much helpless. That's so crazy that it's actually the opposite.
I know. Well, I've seen it on both sides, but men seem to say it's always the woman, and then, as a woman, like, I'm not saying it's all men, but I'm saying that in my case anyway, he was the money maker. So I think it's whoever makes the most money, and if they are narcissistic and abusive, they will use their money to try to harm you and harm the kids. Like, basically, continue it past the divorce.
Yes, That's crazy because no, it's interesting you say this because so my wife's actually from California.
Oh, okay.
I live in North Carolina, but our wedding was in California, and she has a lot of friends who's done the same thing, who actually managed to put their husbands in jail. She tried to do that. I mean, I have her mom who lives in California. I have a recording in my house, instructing her, hit him with a frying pan on his head.
Oh my God.
Call the cops. Tell them self-defense, and they'll take him to jail. You'll have the house. You'll have the kids.
Oh
and
my
she's
God.
from California.
Oh my God. No, it never happened like that with us. Yeah. Go ahead. Sorry.
She has a lot of friends in California who pretty much, coaching her. It seems like they're using the same blueprint. Do this, do this, do this,
right.
And you'll get certain A and B. And it's crazy that you're from California. You're saying this, and you're on the opposite side.
Well, I'm not. This happened in California. I'm not from California, but this happened in California. We started the divorce in California, so it's California law. Okay, so I don't identify with California. Okay, just so you know.
Okay.
I'm not. We were living in Santa Clarita, and so that's where it started. Okay, but I don't identify as a Californian really. But anyhow, it can happen to anybody. Whether or not they're male or female, it doesn't matter. It doesn't. I don't think it should be a gender issue because. Just because.
Now connected to this laptop.
So, just because I've even spoken to lawyers who have said no. Most of my clients are women who talk about the men. Blah blah blah. Whatever. Opposite sides. But here's the thing. I don't think it should be one side pinned against the other because the ultimate thing is the child, right? The children,
Right.
And
that's it. I agree with you.
And it's like, and no matter what sex you are, like you're still in the same horrible position. It doesn't matter which gender has it more or less. It doesn't matter. You're still in the same horrible position. Anyway, that's just my viewpoint on it. But yeah, my ex, basically, like you said, you gave up your career. I gave up my digital marketing career to stay at home with the kids, and we homeschooled for many years, and then I had them in a private school, and I was working at the school to help pay for the tuition, and then we homeschooled again, and when the divorce started, I was homeschooling then. I didn't know what I was gonna do. I had no idea. I had no job, no nothing, no security, no nothing. So yeah, but as it was at that time, it took about 1.5 years for our divorce process to go through. That was back in 2017. Just because I had I had to find a job, and he had to, find another place to live and, furnish the place and all that sort of stuff. We had to go through those motions first. And it was a very hard process, though, because we were still living in the same house and, like, hating each other, like not wanting to be around each other all the time. But anyways, I was always an advocate for 50-50 parenting, and that's how our divorce papers were. That was the agreement, and there would be equal time and equal shared parenting decisions and so on. Anyway, so around about 2020. I had, back at that time, I had started another relationship, and so their dad was extremely jealous of this other man, and the kids even told me about the fact that he had told them that he didn't want this other man to be like, to take his place. Like he was afraid that this other man was going to be their new dad, kind of a thing. And so he was telling them things about how he was worried about this. And they would tell me that when they would come back to me and say, well, Dad's worried that, you know, this other guy is going to take his place and stuff like that. And he only wants, you know, him to teach us certain things and, you know, as the dad, you know. Anyway, none of that was really based on fact, but either way, that was his thing, you know. So shortly after that, I started hearing from my son that Dad says he'll take me to Japan. Can I go to Japan with Dad overseas? And at that point, my son was, I think, 7 or 8. And I was a little bit wary of him traveling overseas, especially when it was around 2020. And I was like, and he didn't have a phone or anything yet, so I was a little wary of that. So I was like, no, I don't think so just yet, you know. And so then it became this thing of like, well, Mom says I can't go to Japan with Dad, so, you know, Mom's bad. And you know, Dad wants to take me. I want to go to Japan, and Dad will take me because he's got all the money. And you know, Mom's the bad guy because she won't say yes just yet, you know. So then it became this. So it's almost sort of like that's when the campaign of denigration started. Back at that time, he would disrespect me in front of the kids. He would call me names. He would say really bad things about me in front of the kids. I knew he was talking badly about me to them behind my back as well, like when they would go back to his place. And so just stuff like that, you know, stuff that you shouldn't talk about with your kids about the other parent, you know. And so there was that stuff happening. And then anyway, fast forward a couple years, basically my son was starting to get very, should I say, disruptive at home, and just very, very, very disrespectful, and told me that he would complain to his dad about me and stuff like that. Told me that his dad and he talked about how much they hated me all the time, and you know, just stuff like that. Then he told me that his dad had a plan on how to take the kids away from me. And at the time, I didn't even know what the term parental alienation meant. I didn't even know there was a science about it. I didn't even know that other parents dealt with this.
I didn't either.
Yeah, so I just thought, well, I'm just going to try to, you know, be the best mom that I can be. I'm going to try to de-escalate things. I'm just going to try to be, like, you know, fun with them and, like, take them out places, take them shopping and stuff like that. But obviously none of that really works when you have this stuff going on in the background, which obviously I had an idea about, but I couldn't actually say because I didn't have any proof. But when he told me that, it worried me a lot. But I didn't know there was anything I could do about it. So I just kind of went, well, I'll just try to be the best mom I can be, and you know, just keep moving forward. You know, just keep doing the stuff that I do for them as their mom, and, like, you know, keep the wheels turning, kind of a thing. So, anyway, the alienation tactics, I don't know if you know of the 17 alienating behaviors that, I forget who the author is, but you can look it up. You can either Google it or go on Claude.ai or something like that. and type in what are the 17 alienating behaviors in parental alienation. So, so that a lot of that stuff was going on, and eventually my son and I kind of came head to head, and he no longer had any conscience or remorse about being disrespectful with me, because it was completely okay and it was completely encouraged and okay with his dad, and so that was pretty much basically used to, well, he doesn't want to be with you anymore. So my son pretty much had a basically, I guess what you would call is like a psychotic episode, and which is very unfortunate. And the sad thing about it is that the loyalty conflict that these kids are placed in this type of situation is very psychologically hard on them, and the targeted parent will be blamed for their behavior and the psychological effects, when in actual case it's actually the loyalty conflict that they are being placed in, which is causing that. And it is very damaging to kids, especially kids who are a little bit introverted and kind of sensitive, and is horrible. It's really horrible. And honestly, like at that time, I was observing what was going on. I knew I was being a good mom. I wasn't being a bad mom. I wasn't abusive. There was no abuse, but I could see what was happening, but I felt completely helpless. But since then, I've done a lot of research into the topic. And anyway, so he texted his dad and he said, "Come and get me. I need you to come and get me," so he came and got them. He took them. At that time, we had a court order for 50-50 visitation. I was, he makes like 150 grand a year, so he can afford to give me a little bit of child support. At that time, I was getting child support, but anyway, he came and took the kids. He has a lawyer, fancy lawyer, whatever. He ordered to basically modify it all so that he had them full time. And, basically I was labeled as the cause of London, my son, his distress. And my daughter, unfortunately, even though I could tell, she could see what was happening. She knew what was going on. Yet at the same time, she was kind of forced to side with the parent who was enforcing this whole thing. If you get what I'm saying. And the night that they left, through tears, she told me about how her dad had been talking to her for months to try to get her to leave me and exclusively live with him. Like, she said it outright to me, and I have a text message from her about it. And so he had been, aside from being very direct with her about it, he had been actually working on them for a couple of years to try to get them to leave me and turn them against me, basically. And so it's very sad. It's a horrible thing to do to kids, because their survival instincts kick in, and they've got to align with the parent who is, like, they don't want the conflict,
Right.
And my daughter is now 15, and my son is 13, and I have only spoken to my daughter about 3 times in the last year, and I've spoken to my son twice. And the last time I spoke, and the last time I spoke with him on the phone, he said to me that I don't care about you anymore, and you're not my mom, and I don't care about you. And for a child,
That's horrible.
from basically from the age of 12 to say that to their parent, that child does not naturally do that. That a child doesn't.
Right, I was gonna say that's not him saying. He's
No,
coached to say that.
no,
So,
it's not.
So I know it's easier to say, but don't take it personal. Like,
no, I know.
Don't take it as him.
I know. Even though it makes me sad, it still I still cry about it sometimes. But at the same time, I've done so much research on this subject that I look at that and I go, that is a child who is being manipulated, and this fear and hate has been instilled. And it is not from him. I know it's not, because we have had many great memories and many great times, and we previously had a really great bond. So I know I know I wasn't a bad mom, and but it's sometimes like the pain of the separation just becomes too much, and you just start thinking about it, and it's really hard to when you get reminded of all the good times or something like that, or you just miss hearing them. It's hard not to just sink into absolute grief.
Do you have a good support, family support? Maybe nieces, nephews.
Yeah, I mean, I do have friends around, and I have, but it's it's something I'm still working through, to be honest with you. There's never going to be an end until I'm reunited with them, so it's not something that can be fixed with someone saying, oh, they're there, it'll be okay.
Well, that's crazy, and it's interesting to say this because my kids, they're a lot younger, and I guess I'm just kind of first stage of this, but I mean, I'm experiencing the same thing, that mom does not, like, we order on the days that we're not with the kids to FaceTime girls,
right?
And so, like, today, she works night shifts, and I said, why are you sending the kids to somebody else's house? And they have 11-year-old who has like suicidal ideations, and it's not a good environment.
Yeah.
She sends them there, and then when I called them, so like today I called it, and the court order specifically said that the calls to be made between 8 and 8:30 for a reasonable amount of time.
Right.
Well, the way she translates it, and that's what she told the babysitter.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter, even if I call it 8:29.
Right.
8:31. You gotta disconnect the call. And so today I called, like, I talked to the girls for 3 minutes.
Yeah.
And the girls are saying, bye, love you, bye.
Yeah.
And I know they're not saying that. The babysitter is coaching them.
Right. Well, I had the same thing happen.
Kids are afraid of her, because she punishes them. She takes the toys away. She favors the other one. And I know that we have amazing bond. I mean, when they see me, they're running to me. We have amazing, the 3 to 4 days that I have, we spend every single second together. I don't use my phone.
Yeah.
We have a great bond. But the kids are, they adapt, and it's their survival mode. They have to do what they have to do.
Yeah.
And it's horrible, but it's interesting to hear that, because, this is not the result. This is what they're teaching kids, but the results might be horrible, and it's something that I didn't actually think about it.
Yeah, it's honestly, it is. If you like all that time while I was laying in bed last year, like, I would watch YouTube videos about this whole subject, and also study the research on adult kids who were alienated as a child, and then they grow up, and then, so they researched, kids who went through this as a kid, and then find out later in life how it affected them, it's actually very damaging to their development and to their learning of like attachment styles and learning about relationships and things like that. So when one parent turns the kids against the other parent, and it doesn't even matter if the stuff that they're telling the kids about the other parent is true or not. It does not matter. You do not talk to the kids badly about the other parent. Like, a healthy parent will protect the relationship and the bond with them, the kids, and the other parent. You know what I mean?
Well, maybe, like I said, this is new to me, so enlighten me. For example, and I hear this all the time, but how do you not tell the kids? Because she lies to them, she manipulates them, and she tells the lies. So if I don't tell the kids the truth, they're not going to know. Some of the stuff I said, they're like, oh, that makes sense. Yeah. For example, so she doesn't want them to speak to me on FaceTime. And so when they're at my house, they actually done this last week. So she calls them. They're like, I don't want to talk to mom. I said, no, mom is calling. Please, you have to talk to mom.
Right.
And so they talk for a couple of minutes, say, bye, I love you, and hangs up. I'm like, why did you do that? She's like, because she makes me do that to you.
Mm-hmm.
And like, and what did I do? Like, yeah, I encourage them to have, relationship with mom, but I mean, I told her, don't do that to the, if I said innocent, but when they're going to grow up, they're going to pay you back with something, and she's not listening to me. And, how do I look at this? As judgment? I mean, do I tell them the truth? Or do I not tell them? Do I just, if I don't tell them, then I'll be encouraging, believing her lies.
Well,
and it's not the fact. So I don't know, I'm kind of...
Here's the thing, and this is, you can take this for however you want, but this is my advice on that. They're really young at this point. They're what, 7, 8, 9, or something like that?
6 and 7, yes.
6 and 7. Okay, they're super young, and a lot of the details of what you tell them right now, they're not really going to remember it. However, if you talk about adult things with them, like, this isn't true, but let's just say, if you tell them, your mom is an alcoholic, your mom cheated on me with another man, or something like that, right? So that's, and that's why she's bad, and that's why we're not together, because she did that, right? That would be kind of painting a picture for them, to get them to think badly about her, right? So that's what I mean when I say, like, talking to kids badly about the other parent. So little things like, oh, they wanted you to FaceTime, they didn't want to FaceTime, those sorts of things, is that sort of, that'll get forgotten about. Trust me, years later, it gets forgotten about. They won't care about that when they're older, but I'm talking about, like, major things that you talk about with them, let's say, even, at this age, or if they were 8 or 10, and you talked to them about the court case, and you said, well, your mom is, doing, XYZ, and so that's why, we broke up, or that's why she's a bad person, that sort of thing. If you were to do that, that would be alienating them against her. Or if she did that to you, right? Like, if she was saying to them...
So the 6-year-old actually told me this last week. She said, Mom said if you don't give her money, then if you don't give her money, half of the house, she'll take the whole house. And she
definitely should not be talking about that with them, and you need to document that. Like, every single instance of that, you need to document it. Keep a Word doc where you document it. You don't need to talk about it with the kids, and you don't need to say to the kid, oh, your mom is bad for telling you that, and let me record you, or anything like that. Nothing like that. Just document it. My child told me, and then quote exactly what they said, at this date and time, and document everything, but don't fall into the trap of doing the same things, or like, doing it back to her or whatever. But document everything. And
no, I know she's trying to get. I mean, through emails, she's just little lies, fabricates conflicts just to get a reaction on me.
That's
I
horrible.
actually started using Claude AI. I pay for it, $20 a month or something. And I mean, I don't reply to her. I run every single email through that, and I say take emotions out, make it court approved, judge acceptable. That's the only way I communicate.
Right.
But I mean, she's still. The thing is, like, she's not done. She has other plans.
Right.
She told one of her friends that she will never let me live in peace. And she originally actually wanted to take the girls.
That's horrible.
Back to California, where her mom is.
Yeah.
And actually, it's crazy, but throughout the marriage, it's been, I guess, abusive on both sides. But I kind of got used to her saying that I hate you. The kids will grow up. I'll teach them English because we speak Slavic language. So she's like, I'll teach them English when I will not need you. I'll turn them against you. I'll take them. You will never see them again.
Wow.
And she would tell me that every single fight, and then she would say, I'm sorry, I didn't mean that. I was mad at you. And I kind of got used to it, but that's exactly what she's trying to do.
Wow. Well, you need to take it seriously. And I hate to be the one to say this, because my ex-husband said the same thing to me when I started the divorce process. He told me, I'm going to destroy you, and I'm going to take the kids from you. Wow. And you need to take it. Yep. And you need to take it seriously, because if that's...
And he didn't try to do it right away. He did it years ago.
No, yeah, exactly. But you know what? Wow. Here's the thing, is he worked for an internet marketing company that serviced lawyer firms. So he knows the ropes, and he knows how to do it without getting caught and being blamed in the legal system. So he knew what he was doing. He played the long game, and he eventually won. And unfortunately, the kids are the ones who are actually going to end up losing, because now they don't have a relationship with their mom. They can't talk to me. They're afraid to talk to me, partly because they're afraid of the consequences they'll get if they show any affection for their mom. So they have to suppress it.
Right.
And
wow.
This is what can happen if you don't do something ahead of time, years in advance. So you've got to, everything that she has said to you, you need to document it. You need to write it up, get it into a Word doc, get it, everything written up, in any proof you have, put together a file. And I'm not saying that this is always the way that you will win, because listen, I did this, and the judge 4 times in a row ignored all of my evidence. So, like I said, I am not a lawyer. I'm not it's not legal advice. But at the same time, if you do get another lawyer and you do have a legal strategy, having this all together will greatly help you. So, put it all together. Any text messages, any recordings, any video recordings, any screenshots of texts, and from your recollection, just put together a file. I actually, for my most recent hearing, which was April 24th, I did this. I put together, and it was long. It was like a 20-page thing of documented, like, the whole timeline, basically, and everything that had happened. And none of it was looked at in my case.
Wow.
Yeah.
Do you think it's because? Well, I asked because I actually went to a very well-known firm, high-end firm, very expensive, and I kind of did the same thing. I created I think it was 30-page or 20-page, Claude AI, talks about all the dynamics in marriage, post-marriage. And I asked the attorney to please read that and then, advise me of a strategy based on that.
Right.
Well, didn't want to read it. And then when I started asking him about it, He's like, okay, so this happened during the marriage. This happened during the marriage. He's like, none of it is relevant. The only thing that's relevant, after you signed that mediation that was coercively, manipulated to agree. He said, anything happen after that, that's what we can, bring to the court, show to the judge. Anything happen into the marriage, forget it. And it's crazy because I literally have a video of her admitting, saying, I want to split your head open. And I'm like, how can you say that? It's like, because you make me so mad.
That's horrible. And
so I have those videos. I have the evidence.
Right.
And even that firm, that firm is known to fight, and they don't care about that.
I'm just saying, I'm not saying, again, I'm not a lawyer, but I would say don't listen to anyone. If you have evidence of that stuff, I included, my ex-husband went to jail for domestic violence back in 2009. And so I included it. I'm just saying, put together your own file. And I'm saying that it would be good for you to somehow make sure your parental rights and your custodial time is protected in your court order. And I included everything in my timeline. Everything. My ex-husband told me I should kill myself, and he said that in front of our kids. Our kids were too young to remember that, but he told me that I was white trash and I didn't deserve anything and I should just kill myself.
Wow.
What the hell,
So that's crazy because I remember, and this was a year before separation, when she pretended to be a great wife. I remember, and it's crazy because it happened after church. So I take the family, goes a little to the ice cream uptown in Charlotte. And out of the blue, she's like, you know what? If you die, I'm not even going to cry.
Oh, my God.
I'm like, why would you say that?
That's horrible.
She's like, well, accidents happen. And she had, and I looked in her eyes, she has this evil smirk in her face.
God.
There were so many signs, and I just, I don't know, I thought love is sacrifice, and, I would forgive her for, also,
because you know what it is? You know what it is? Good-hearted people don't want to believe that someone could be so evil, They don't want to, they don't want to, they want to give people other, second chances. They want to, believe that they'll change and so on, it's.
But some of the evidence, for example, so before wedding, I talked to her about anything. She's like, yeah, I want as many kids as God gives us, After we got married, she literally said, I don't want kids for at least 5 years. And I want 5 years break in between each kid. I'm like, you know how much harder that is going to be?
Yeah.
No, I'm 32. How many? And so when she got pregnant, it's our first baby. She's actually 1 year anniversary baby, literally 1 day apart.
Yeah.
And so she really, she was going through a crazy time. She didn't want to be pregnant. She hated that she's pregnant. And so one of the, she tried to get a reaction on me, and then she conditioned me to do absolutely unacceptable things. And then if she gets a reaction on me, she would blame me and forget any wrongdoing. And so what she did, I don't remember the argument, but she got so mad. So she's pregnant. She comes to, in our house, in our kitchen, we have a granite countertop. She comes to the granite countertop and hits her stomach against it really hard.
Oh.
She said, do something about me. What are you going to do? What's she going to do? And when the baby was born,
yeah.
I can see the picture. To this day, she has no hair on the right hand side. Her ears deformed. Her face, her face is a little deformed. She had a neck problem since she was born, and none of our family has both sides.
Yeah.
None of us had any kind of deformities, and I have sisters. One sister has 11 kids. The other sister has 5 kids. My brother has 5 kids. So we have a lot of kids in the family.
Yeah.
None of them have any kind of deformities.
That's awful.
And so then that evidence, and I sent it to the to the attorney, this high caliber attorney, because when did it happen? Mm-hmm. It's almost this is serious stuff. You would think that the judge would look at it.
Yeah, exactly.
But they don't want to look at it, and I'm not sure why. Their first question, when you go for consultation, they ask, the high caliber attorneys, before you even have consultation, you have to fill out a form and you have to provide the incomes, where you work, how much you make.
Right.
Well, and that fact itself, tells me that they're not interested in
exactly.
The kids.
They want to know how much money you're making, and they all make
right.
money off of this stuff. And here's the thing. This is what I was going to say before. I'm pro se only in the beginning because I couldn't afford it. But then as I started doing research, I started learning about all of the potentially millions or at least hundreds of thousands of parents who have spent so much money on legal fees and lawyers and so on, and yet they did nothing for them. And I went, you know what? I think I'm dodging a bullet here, and I think it's good that I actually am not paying a lawyer to represent me, and I'm going to do my own research. And honestly, that's what I've done. Not to say that, like I'm still, the judge, I think, is biased, but there's nothing really I can do about that. He's the one with the money. He makes 150 grand a year. I don't make as much. So I'm trying to improve my situation, and that's really all I can do at the moment. So, yeah. But if I did have the money for it.
The positive thing, your son is 15, so you only got, 3 more years?
Well, my daughter is 15,
I know it's crazy.
but yeah.
Oh, the daughter's 15.
Yeah, I can't look at it like that, though. You can't say that to me because...
I agree. It is crazy. That's what some people
I can't hear that. I will reject it 100% because, those are some of the most formative years of their lives, and I'm missing out on all the milestones. And just recently, for some weird reason, my their dad started, messaging me, texting me, a couple of friendly things, and I'm like, why? I don't get it. Why? He hasn't done this for years, been friendly towards me in text. And then just yesterday, he sent me a video of teaching our daughter how to drive. And so I'm missing out on that, and I don't get to be there for that. And it's almost like he's rubbing it in my face, hey, look, here's what you get to miss out on. And I haven't been able to talk to my daughter, I haven't been able to, nothing. And then he sends me a video of him teaching her how to drive. And I'm like, are you kidding me? I'm not even going to respond to it because the only thing I would say is hateful and angry to him. So I'm like, if I can't say anything nice, I won't say anything at all.
Do you think he's rubbing it in, or do you think he's possibly realizing, what kind of damage it has and sends you?
I don't know, and I don't care. I don't care. I don't care what his intentions are. It just made me break down and cry because I can't even get through to her. I can't message with her. She won't talk to me. I can't talk to her. Nothing. I'm completely...
Did you try asking him, after those nice messages, be nice and ask him if you can have a couple of minutes with the kids on the phone, or
listen, I've been through this so much with him, and all he says, well, it's up to them. It's nothing to do with me. I had nothing to do with it. That's what he does. He says, oh, it's all on them. You can ask them. You can text them, and it's between you and them. And so the last time I actually had a personal conversation with my daughter was January 4th. It was through a court order. So we had a December 30th, we had a hearing, and the judge ordered me to be able to have 2 15-minute FaceTime calls with them per week on Sunday nights at 7 and Wednesday nights at 7. So that Sunday night, I called my daughter, we spoke, and she was very relieved to actually talk to me, and she said she was so glad to talk to me, and she sounded relieved. And I was timing the call, and the minute, literally to the second, when it was 15 minutes, he came out and said, okay, you gotta get off the call. And she protested 3 times, and she said, but I'm still talking to her. Can I finish the conversation? And he said, no, you gotta get off the call. And a parent who supports a relationship with the other parent doesn't do that. If they see that the child is actively engaging with the other parent and they're happy to be talking to them, they don't come outside and say, okay, you gotta get off the phone now. It doesn't matter. Court order. You gotta get off. Only 15 minutes. Like, they don't do that.
He takes it as a threat.
Right.
And your relationship will be established.
Exactly. And guess what? Now she's nervous about talking to him. But nervous about talking to me. But that's then blamed on me. Like, oh, she's nervous to talk to you. So it's up to her, you know. It's nothing to do.
Have you tried to contact her maybe through some other channels? I mean, you literally gonna lose. So have you maybe like those teenage Snapchats or like?
I have actually. Apps, no, I can't get through to her. No. I think she's just he monitors their phones. So like anything she talks to with me, like he'll see. And I think he told her like she can't have Snapchat. So. Which is fine because I agree with that actually.
But
I'm
just thinking if there's any channels or maybe through friends or anything that you can establish it, without him knowing if she does have a desire.
No, she's too nervous about it, and then like obviously like she doesn't want to be put in that position either, like he gets angry with her for wanting to continue to talk to me, So I as a kid, I wouldn't want to deal with that either, So.
I don't know, maybe because my kids are younger.
Yeah.
Or maybe because she was rude and they kind of learn from her, but
yeah.
And actually it's kind of funny, but there's a couple times in my younger one. I mean, she got a character. Victoria, she was born, she doesn't take no for a no. She wants something, she'll get something, or she's gonna throw a fit. Which I'm kind of, working at that, but I understand a lot of it could be trauma, so I'm trying to be like very smart about it.
Yeah.
But yeah, she tells her.
Yeah.
She tells the mom.
Well, that's good, but here's the thing about manipulation is that it's hidden. And even the kids won't realize that they're being manipulated. Once they are fully brainwashed, they will feel like it's their decision when it's really not. And that's the really sick thing about it,
Right, and she's very narcissist. I mean, she's full-blown narcissist, and being a nurse, she has the image, and so she was able to even fool some of my family members, like 3 of my sisters.
Wow, yeah, my ex used to do that too. He would call my family, and like he would start an argument with me, and I would try to sort it out, and then he would say really nasty things to me, get me upset, and then he would call my sister and say, "See, listen to her, listen, see how crazy she is."
That's exactly what she did. Yeah.
Oh my God.
And before she left, like she would literally tell me no 10 times. One time I kind of like, "Babe, are you okay?" I'm like, "Look, I love you. I don't want to fight with you.
Yeah.
We're not doing this in front of the kids." And she would purposely do it in front of the kids.
Wow.
And then if she gets reaction out of me, she would record. And I knew that, but
that's horrible.
And she was trying for like a good half a year, like very, like extensively, and she couldn't get anything on me. She wanted one of the reasons to leave, and she couldn't get anything.
That's awful.
She recorded, when I was like screaming and calling her names, but I knew she had recorded because like she would call me horrible names, and then when I started, she would stop. I'm like, okay, this is weird.
Right.
She's probably recording me.
Right.
But yeah, it's crazy that it's wow.
I know. I'm trying to keep a level head about myself with everything, but just trying to keep moving forward. My last.
But so the dilemma that I'm in right now is basically I don't know if I should get a a loan. I went to the bank and I know I can get a car loan. My car is paid for, so if I put a title under that, I can get a car loan. So I'm not sure if I should get a lawyer.
You know what I would do?
Expensive attorney, or if I should do pro se, but I don't want to mess anything up.
Right,
because
sure.
She's actively trying to like create a conflict, and I don't want to mess it up. I don't know if I should talk to her attorney directly. And at the same time.
Where are you at in the legal cycle? Like, do you have any hearings pending, or do you have like anything, like, has anything been filed with the court, or like, are you guys, you know?
Yeah, so she filed for equitable distribution, and I responded. You know, then I filed for alimony PSS, really to have a leverage for equitable distribution. Not that I want money.
Right.
I mean, I'm pretty much bankrupt. You know, I've never been in debt.
Yeah.
You know, other than the house, and now I'm all my cars are pretty much maxed out.
Right.
Then she had the criminal thing, and so we have a couple of hearings. I think one in June, July, August, and then something in September.
Yeah.
I mean, the June is coming up, and I think that's actually the criminal. But if I agree to go to mediation, should be dismissed. I don't know if it will be dismissed.
Right.
So I don't know if I should take a risk and go myself.
Here's the other thing. I have one other suggestion for you that I just thought of, which was actually very, very helpful to me in the beginning of my case. There is a legal service called Prepaid Legal Services, or I think it's called Legal Shield. You can look it up. It might be legalshield.com. And here's the great thing about this is you pay a monthly fee, and it's something, when I was paying for it, it was like, I don't know, 40 or 50 bucks a month. And you can have...
I got it for my work, but they're not helpful at all.
I see. Okay. Well...
Yeah, they help you with like speeding tickets, you know, with writing the will.
No, I used them for family law as well. I don't know about in your state, but
did you?
Yeah. So if you have that, yeah, it was definitely helpful. I got a couple of consultations, like for an hour long, and they helped get me on the right path. So I would recommend that. And then your legal questions about should I get a lawyer or shouldn't I don't know, you know, like I can only tell you what I've done and what I'm doing. At this point, I don't believe in the legal system. I don't believe in the court system. I think it's all just, you know, they're all just trying to scam you out of money. And they're using your emotional, yeah, and they're using your emotional, you know, stuff as leverage, basically. And so, but that's my opinion, right? So as far as whether you should get a legal, like an attorney or not, I don't know. But if you at least try to schedule a family law consultation with Legal Shield, you know, have a couple consultations, you might get some good advice from them. If you don't want to go through the route of getting, you know, paying thousands and thousands of dollars for an attorney. Because honestly, I think it's horrible that so many parents waste so much money on these things when a lot of times it turns out that it didn't help, you know?
Right. Well, the last attorney definitely didn't help. I was thinking, you know, that he's been an ex-police officer, you know, he'll be able to do something about the stalking, about the GPS, about her harassing me, sending her brother, who's like, does nothing but working out.
Right.
One of her associate filing for protective order, and he had nothing. I haven't talked to him in like years.
Right.
And so the court dismisses. I was hoping that, you know, he will be able to do something about that. He hasn't done anything.
Right.
I mean, it's almost like they're interested to create more conflict so they can secure their job, and it's all billable hours.
Yeah.
And this last attorney, he uses like a collaborative approach, meaning there's 3 attorneys.
Right.
And with every email, I'm paying $80 to each one of them.
Wow.
And so at the same time, it's convenient because, you know, he can blame the other attorney.
Right.
And he's not in the loop at all. I mean, literally, I went to his consultation. It was kind of like a review of the whole thing, and I printed out, the Claude AI.
Yeah.
I said, what's the strategy? What are we doing next?
Right.
And so it's crazy. He didn't have any idea.
Yeah.
And then on the consultation,
see, that's the thing.
He literally took my my Claude AI recommendation, and he said, okay, here's the plan. We're doing this, this, and this. And he circled 3 things from AI. Then I paid $20 per month.
Yeah, that's.
And he charged me $400 times 3
right.
for each attorney, which is insane.
Right. So, I, whether or not you should get another attorney, I can't, tell you whether you should or shouldn't. But what I would do is talk to Legal Shield and rely on your own research. Look up the laws using AI and file the forms using AI. And that's what I did. I'm not saying that that's guaranteed to win, but I honestly, I think that a lot of people just default to using lawyers when they can actually do it themselves. So
the problem with me, the attorney, she was a judge, and she was like female judge, right? So she's not married, she doesn't have kids, and she's very pro-woman, and she already biased, based on what she lied about it. I didn't defend myself because I was hoping that it's going to save the marriage, and so she's already biased. And plus I have an accent, how is she going to take me? She's not going to take me seriously. Now, one attorney I did have, she was female.
right.
And she was amazing in court. After court, I don't know what she was trying to do. I don't know if they, have dinner together and they come up with some kind of deals together, who's paying who, I don't know. But she was really aggressive in the court. Now, this guy that I have, that judge didn't even pay any attention to him at all.
Right.
I don't know, maybe simply because he's a man. So I don't know if I should do that. Now, one of the things I consider doing, those last consultation is very expensive firm, and the guy was actually honest. He was pretty cool. He's like, look, your case is not that serious. I can do it, but you're gonna have to pay me a lot of money. What you got? You got a house, you got a car. Everything else is my worry that it might happen. So I wanted to flip the script. I wanted to show the truth, and I wanted to protect my future and my kid.
Yeah.
He's not looking at that. He's looking at what's pending, what needs to happen, which is, splitting the house, money, that's it.
Yeah.
And he said, have this consultation from our firm because, anybody who sees the name of the firm, they don't want to deal with that. But this guy is only $300 versus that guy was like $550 or $600. And this guy, I told him my financial situation, and he was prosecutor for some time, so I think he knows the law.
Right.
But he offered me an option. I said, do you work by, case by case? For example, if I hire you to go to the hearing, I pay you for this, and that's it.
Right.
I pay you to draft the email, and that's it.
Yeah.
So he actually said that he can work kind of like an advisor. He's not going to be in charge of my case. He's not official on my case.
Right.
But, it's the same fee, $300 an hour. And he said, I don't have to put $10,000, to hire him. It's going to be like maybe $2,500, $3,000.
Right.
But he can give me all the advice that I need, and I can pretty much go myself.
Right.
Have you considered doing that, maybe?
Well, potentially, to be honest with you, I don't know. I said what I said. I would go with Legal Shield first because they're only $50 a month. To get a couple family law, get a consultation with them about which way to go. They don't actually represent you. They just give advice. So they could give you better legal advice than I could. They might tell you, oh no, that legal firm is just trying to, get your money or whatever. I don't know. So I can't advise on that. But that's what I would go with the cheapest option first because your money is your money, and you want it for your survival and for your future and for your kids. And, you want to protect that. You got to protect your money, not just dish it out to whoever says they can help you the most or whatever. you gotta, I don't know, like, I would go with the cheapest option first and then go from there. Like, make a decision, get some cheap, and if you want to, to go with getting a consultation with $2,500, like, that's, it's up to you. I would get a little bit of advice first, and then,
I was just thinking because if I hired this guy, then he said, he's only going to deal with, equal distribution money, and he's not looking at flipping the script. He's not looking at. He said you have to build the evidence, and then, one of the things I said, I was manipulated. She alienated kids. She asked me to go to mediation. I was forced to do it. I have emails where I told my attorney that we are not prepared. We didn't have any plan. I didn't want to go unprepared. I have those emails. He said, and I was wondering if I can, have the judge look at it and maybe modify it. He said, no, you need to wait a couple of years, keep collecting the evidence, make the notes.
Right.
So he's not interested in fighting for me. Right. I was thinking if I go by myself, I can still get help, so I don't do anything stupid or anything that can be used against me.
Yeah.
So with his help, maybe I can file myself.
Yeah, quite possibly.
At least it will tell her that, hey, I'm not just gonna give up. I'm not gonna give in because she's making more money, and I think she's tired too. Because she even complained to my mom last Sunday. She's like, I'm working 4 days a week now, and she only works part time with me. Right. Now she works overtime. She works night shifts. So I think she's sick of it too, and she had to borrow a lot of money because she didn't have any money. Right. To start all this life. So maybe, and one of the things this attorney did, which was really stupid, they sent the whole folder of evidence when she was abusive to me, to that video where she's admitting that I want to split your head open because you make me so mad. That video, other videos where she's throwing sandwiches across the house, doing stupid stuff. They literally uploaded the whole folder of that evidence to her attorney.
Wow.
And they said we had to do it because if you ever use it in court, we have to use it as part of the discovery thing.
Right.
And so now they said, the evidence that I've been preserving, the evidence that I haven't used because I was trying to save the marriage. Right. I didn't want her to lose her job or go to jail for lying, and I had enough evidence, I think. Now she has all that, and I'm afraid that she knows what I have.
Right.
And so maybe I should hire an attorney and show her that I'm, willing to go forward with it, and ask her, hey, if you want to, have mediation, try to close the whole case. Let's do it. Yeah. If not, I'm going to move forward with it.
Well, I don't know, man. I don't have anything I can tell you other than what I've told you. So,
Right.
Yeah. But if you want to, I can send you some referrals of, I know a lady who is an advocate for people in court. So, sometimes you can use an expert witness, and that can help your case. If you describe the whole situation to her, she'll do an hour-long consultation with you, and then if you want to use her in your court case, you pay her a small fee. It's nothing near what you'd pay a lawyer, but, and she can help you through the whole situation. I can send you her email and her website, and you can contact her. She helped me with some advice recently.
Okay.
And
it's not a girl from Florida, is it?
I don't know.
Because I actually talked to one girl, so she was an attorney, and then her husband beat her up, and there was a whole situation that they pretty much took her license, so she cannot practice. Okay. But she does
No, she's a clinician. She's a clinical psychologist, and she'll.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so she's not an attorney, but she can speak for you in your case if you want her to. And she can also, and she can also put together a letter for you in your case, which holds some weight in court because because she is she's an expert witness, what they call, right?
Okay.
So
okay.
Yeah. So
and she doesn't have to be local, right?
No. I don't remember where she is. I think she's on the East Coast, or maybe she's Central Time. I'm not sure. But I had a couple consultations with her, and you can. I paid her. Let's see. I think it was like. She does like a monthly thing where you can have weekly consultations with her for like I think $150 a month, and then I paid her.
That's not bad.
Yeah, and then I paid her recently a few $100s to write a letter for me for my recent court case, which I think will help in the future. But anyway, because she's a clinical expert, her words and her her status basically helps to like she reviewed my whole case and all of the evidence, and she advocated for me, if that makes sense.
Oh wow, okay.
Yeah. So
that'd be super helpful. Yeah, if you could do that, I'll appreciate it.
Yeah, I'll definitely refer her to you. I'll send you her email as well as I actually found her in a Facebook group, so I can forward you her her Facebook profile and her email and her website. I can get that over to you.
Yeah, if you could do that, that'd be great.
Yeah, for sure.
Because that's actually one of the things I was considering maybe doing, because literally for the first month, I used to do my they have flexible schedule. I did cars, so I worked from home.
Yeah.
But the 4 months eventually after, I could not do anything. Actually, I had to get a brand new job. I got into sales.
Yeah.
Just to be outside of the house so I can function, because I was just going crazy.
Yeah.
And so. Yeah, that would be super helpful. I was thinking of maybe doing a therapy. I did do divorce care. I don't know if you guys have those in California. It's usually like through some, I just found a local random church close to my work.
Okay.
And that was super helpful because it helped me, kind of have clarity, because I have a lot of friends, a lot of family, but none of them are divorced, so they just cannot relate. They're nice people. They try to be supportive, but they cannot relate. Divorce care, those are people, that deal with the same thing as we do.
Yeah.
So that was super helpful to me.
If you haven't gone through it, then it's not going to make much sense. Yeah.
Oh, really? Okay. Too late.
Well, to relate, people can be, it's good to, have support and things like that, but it's, in my case anyway, it's very hard to find people that I know. Nobody who I know has been through what I've been through. So,
have you tried to look up divorce care online?
No. I'm completely over the divorce part of it. It's like post-divorce abuse, basically. I guess they call it.
Well, and some people go for that as well. I'm mad, like locally. It's nice because it's in person. They have over Zoom, but I like in person. I actually met some really cool guys who gone through the same thing, and some of them been divorced for a couple of years, but they're still dealing with the kids and false allegations. So it's super helpful. It was each Monday, and it ended, and now I missed those Mondays because I used to go after work right there.
Yeah. Cool. Well, I have to get going soon. I've got still a bit more work I've got to complete tonight, but I'll send over those resources to you. And if anything, I hope that at least talking to someone who's been through a similar situation has been helpful.
No, it has been. I really appreciate it. That kind of opened my eyes, because I'm not thinking of the future and what the results of my decisions can hold for the future.
Yep.
But that's something to keep in mind, because a lot of the things she does, she has a plan.
Right.
She's not just doing it,
Yep.
She has a plan for the future, and it's not good. So I need to be mindful of that.
Exactly. And make yourself aware of the whole subject, because it is good to be prepared for anything. Because as the kids get older, and this is something that my ex taught my kids, he taught my daughter, oh, when you're 14, you can decide where you want to live, based on California law. So, get ready, like you're going to come and live with me, right? And that's exactly what he did. So yeah, so like get prepared for the preteen and teenage years as well, and protect yourself, because manipulation can run deep, and but be careful not to talk about it with the kids, because it'll only backfire on you, and then also you end up being the one who causes the situation you don't want to have happen to you, right? And I'm not saying you're going to do that, but I'm just saying try to not talk about the divorce, not talk about the relationship between, like what happened between you and your ex-wife. Try not to talk about the details of money and things like that with the kids, as they get older.
Yeah.
But if she does,
crazy. I mean, that's gonna be a living hell for next.
I know.
10 years.
I know.
It makes me wonder. Maybe if maybe it'd be worth to kind of sacrifice and maybe get back together if possible. Go through the therapy.
Do you really want to get together with a person like that who would say those things to you, though? Like, to say that they want to split your head open? Like, do you really want to be with that person? Here's the thing: is when I divorced my ex-husband, I was trying to do so for actually a few years, and I was scared to. But here's the thing: is I didn't want the kids growing up seeing that as a normal relationship, and that's what they're going to model it. Like, they're going to see that as an example. You know what I mean? And unfortunately, it pretty much destroyed my life, and now I don't have my kids anymore. But at the same time,
well, I guess in comparison, what's better, for you and the kids.
Yeah.
I'm not saying one is ideal. Nothing is ideal after such a mess.
Yeah.
Again, I'm just kind of speaking out loud.
Yeah.
I mean, especially if other people get involved in the kid's life, I mean, they're just going to create so much more trauma. At least right now, maybe she does it, but to my knowledge, I don't think. I haven't seen her slept with anybody since she left. It's almost years. I don't know. Maybe she has.
Yeah.
But I don't know.
Well,
I mean, it's going to be.
In saying that, I would say that if you feel like you can repair it, or there is some chance of repair, then yeah, I mean, who's to say, right? Like, I think it's always better for the kids to grow up with their family together, and seeing their parents getting along, and like seeing their parents loving each other and having an example of a healthy, loving relationship, and sometimes that requires faking it a little bit just to try to keep the peace and everything, but it ultimately it comes down to what's best for them, what's the best environment for them to grow up in. But yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. I've been relying on a miracle for a year and a half, and so far it hasn't happened. And just last Sunday, she tried to talk to my mom, because my mom asked if she can have them. I mean, she works night shift, but she refused it.
Yeah.
She told her that she'll never get back together with me. She'll never live with me. And she wants to continue with divorce, which I actually haven't signed the paper. She filed. And there was actually a court here, and obviously I didn't go because my attorney literally dropped me a couple days before that. But yeah, they pretty much said that she has to serve me, and she hasn't served yet. So I'm not sure if she's kind of holding it off, or But she did send me a separation proposal, and it's very narcissistic outburst is what I call them. I mean, she literally says, in case of reconciliation or restoration of the marriage, this contract supersedes any other contracts for the lifetime. You still owe me all the money for the house. I won't. So based on that, I don't think there's any chance.
That's horrible. Wow. Jesus. All right. Well, I gotta go.
Okay. Well, and it was great talking to you. Thanks so much for.
Yeah.
Well, hour and a half. I appreciate it. It was super helpful. Again, I'm kind of new and started.
Yeah.
But to kind of think ahead about the future, that's super helpful.
Yeah.
Outlook. I really appreciate it.
I hope it
I
does
hope the
help.
best for you.
Thank
if
you.
If you ever need somebody to hear me out, you can call me literally anytime.
Oh,
I
thanks.
don't go to bed early. Yeah, feel free, absolutely. I know sometimes, you have those moments and you just need somebody to
That's
talk
okay.
to. So yeah, feel free anytime.
I'll be fine, but I appreciate it so much, and yeah, I hope that helped, and I'll send you those resources, and also don't forget that YouTube is also your friend, so you can search for stuff on YouTube about your situation, and from legal professionals and also other people that talk about parental alienation and stuff like that. So I've done a lot of research on this stuff. In fact, I actually put together a playlist with like hundreds of videos about it, and I can send it to you. Yeah, I can send it to you if you want.
Yeah, don't mind sharing it. Yeah, I do listen to a lot of it. I added myself to a bunch of Facebook groups. As a matter of fact, that's how I got in touch with you through Facebook group.
Right.
But yeah, if you can send me the list.
Yeah, sure.
Playlist, I'll appreciate it.
I have a lot of other, crazy stuff on my YouTube. It's not for, like, I'm not an influencer or anything like that, I just
right.
Yeah, so I'll send it to you.
No, I get it. Yeah, if you don't mind sharing, I can kind of sort it through. I appreciate it.
Yeah, sure, for sure. All right, well, it was good talking to you, Edward.
Hey, good talking to you. Thank you so much for your time. I really appreciate it.
For sure, no worries. Okay, bye.
All right, best of luck to you. Bye.
Bye.